So you came back then. If you've worked your way through lesson 1, well done to you. Seriously, you rock. Can you believe that after just one lesson you've already mastered Sweet Home Alabama, Sweet Child of Mine, and the theme tune from Adventure Time? That's pretty good going, and right about now you should be feeling very pleased with yourself indeed. Well, you've been living on Easy Street for far too long. Life isn't just one great big bowl of cherry Fruit Loops. It's time you went outside and took a look at what's going on in the real world. Don't worry, I'm joking, of course. You guys are doing absolutely great, and you should be proud of yourselves. But what I wanted to show you today is that everything that we've learned so far is unrelentingly happy and upbeat. And life and music isn't always like that. So far, we've learned the chords of G major, C major, and D major. And they're all jolly, fun, happy-go-lucky kind of chords that you'd like to take down to the pub and have a drink with. Listen to them. They're so happy, they make you want to puke, right? I mean, you can't help but smile when you're playing them, but come on, there's got to be more to life than just happy, happy, happy. So we need to learn some chords that are going to teach us the harsh realities of life. We need to hear from chords who've been dumped by their girlfriends and lost their jobs. I'm talking about minor chords. So what are these minor chords then? Well, to put it in simple terms, if a major chord is happy, like this chirpy little fella here, the G major, then a G minor chord is, in blunt terms, sad. If a major chord is cool, happy, fun, and breezy, then a minor chord is like his less good looking, but maybe more interesting older brother. Let me play you through a couple of chords to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. G major. Top of the world, playing my G major chord. G minor. Oh, I want to throw myself off a cliff. G minor is so sad. C major. Everything's happy, happy, happy. I'm really happy. C minor. Oh, but maybe I spoke too soon. How can anyone be happy in a world with a chord like C minor? D major. I just want to sit round the campfire and play D major all day. D minor. But how can I do that when there's so many dreadful things going on in the world? But seriously, can you hear the difference between the major chords and the minor chords? Yeah, the major chords sound happy, bright, breezy, positive, and upbeat, and the minor chords are sad, miserable, menacing, and foreboding. A hint of melancholy, if you like. But that's great, because music is all about expressing different emotions and feelings and getting different flavors out of our sounds. If all we played all the time was major chords, we'd actually be pretty fed up, because you can't just be happy all the time. You gotta have the light and the shade, the day and the night, the black and the white, the happy and the sad, because that's life, and that's music. To understand what a major chord is, first we need to know what a major scale is. The easiest example of a major scale is the C major scale, because that's all the white notes on a piano keyboard from C to C. And scales are building blocks for the music that you play and sing. Now you know what a major scale is. A major chord is made up of certain notes in that scale. In fact, it's made up of the first, the third, and the fifth note of that scale. So a C major chord is made up of a C, an E, and a G. And because we've got 6 strings on a guitar, we'll add an extra C here, and an extra E here, just to make it sound a bit fuller. The notes are still just 1, 3, and 5. And that's your chord of C major. And all major chords are made up of the first, third, and fifth notes of their relative scales. The D major chord is made up of the first, third, and fifth notes of a D major scale, which are D, F sharp, and A. And your G major chord is made up of the first, third, and fifth notes of a G major scale, which are G, B, and D. So those are your major chords. The minor chord is very, very similar to that. It's based around the minor scale. Now, the easiest way to learn a minor scale is to once again go to the piano keyboard and look at all the white notes from A to A. So in an A minor chord, the first, third, and fifth notes are A, C, and E. A, C, and E. So that's all well and good, but what's the difference between a major chord and a minor chord? Well, the difference is that third note, because in the third note of a minor chord or a minor scale, that note is flattened, which means it's one semitone or one piano key or one guitar fret lower than it would be in a major chord or a major scale. We already learnt that the first, third, and fifth chords of a G major scale or chord are G, B, and D. So in a G minor chord, we flatten that third or make it one fret lower, and it becomes G, B flat, and D. And that makes up your G minor chord. The same with a C, E, and G. In your C major chord, your C, E flat, and G gives you your C minor chord. And for your D chord, where you're playing D, F sharp, and A, we flatten that third note and the F sharp becomes just a regular old F. So the notes are D, F, and A, and your D minor chord is this. So you can hear just by changing one note in these chords, it changes the entire flavor of what you're playing. So G major goes from bright and breezy to sad and miserable. D goes from happy-go-lucky to don't want to know you anymore. And C goes from this to this. So the takeaway here is just by changing one note in our chords, we can change the entire sound, giving it a completely new flavor. So in this lesson, I'm going to teach you two minor chords that go very well with the chords that we've already learned. A minor and E minor. These are two easy to play minor chords that crop up again and again and again in lots of pop and rock songs. For two reasons. One, they're easy to play, and two, they sound great. To play the chord of A minor, we'll just start off with the open A string. Then we'll put our second finger on the second fret of the D string, giving us that E note. Our third finger on the second fret of the G string, giving us another A. And our first finger on the first fret of the second string, the B string, giving us a C. And we've got that open E string as well. So the 5 notes in the chord of A minor should sound like this. And to play the chord of E minor, we can lift up our third and first fingers and put our first finger over on the second fret of the A string. So we've got the open 6th string, the E. We've got the note of B on the second fret of the A string. We've got the octave E on the D string, and then we've got G, B, E on the open top 3 strings. And the chord of E minor should sound like this. So those are the two minor chords I want you to learn today, A minor and E minor. It shouldn't take you too long to get to grips with these new chords, but don't rush it. Take the time that you need, because you're going to need to know not just how to play these chords, but how to change between these chords and how to change between those chords and the other chords that we've already learned. You basically just need to be really comfortable changing between the chords. So take your time learning them, and we're going to learn a few songs you can play with these minor chords. By the way, if you're enjoying these lessons and you want more, I post a brand new guitar lesson each and every Wednesday, and also a new ukulele lesson every single Sunday. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications so you never miss a lesson. What you'll find, as with anything, is it's best to use these things in moderation. A minor chord works well when it's just thrown in like a spice you might add to a curry. You don't want too much, but just the right amount gives it that little bit of extra flavor. Let's take a look at the song Heroes by David Bowie for a great example of where a few well-placed minor chords can add just the right amount of threat and tension to a song. It starts off nice and straightforward with the two chords of D and G, and if you remember that down, down, up, down, up pattern we learned in lesson 1, you can just play that through twice on each chord, like this. I will be king, and you will be queen. Then in line 3, we carry on with a C major chord and a D major chord. For nothing will drive them away. And then in the 4th line, we add that tension, that unease or uncertainty with two well-placed minor chords, an A minor and an E minor. We can be heroes just for one, before going back to the nice comforting sounds of a major chord, in this case a D major. Day, we can be honest, C, G, just for one D. So there you go, you can see with just a couple of well-placed minor chords, it can really change the complexion of a song. Don't forget, if you'd like a PDF song sheet for this or any of the songs that are covered in my lessons, then sign up today to patreon.com/uteacher. You get song sheets for absolutely everything that I put out, and bonus Patreon exclusive lessons as well. Let's play that through all together. I will be king, and you will be queen. For nothing will drive them away. We can be heroes just for one day. We can be honest just for one day. And that's how to play Heroes by David Bowie. There's other songs that we can play that actually sound quite sad, but that's only because they have just one or two minor chords sprinkled out that really alters the flavour of the song. Let's take Luka by Suzanne Vega, for example. That starts off, the verse is nice and bright and breezy, with just the major chords of G to D and C to D, like this. My name is Luka, I live on the 2nd floor, I live upstairs from you, yes, I think you've seen me before. So where's the jeopardy? Well, it's in the chorus, because the chorus kicks in with the big bad E minor chord. If you hear something late at night, some kind of trouble, some kind of fight, just don't ask me what it was. Just don't ask me what it was. Just don't ask me what it was. And that E minor chord really puts its mark on the whole of that chorus, even though it only appears twice right at the beginning. It just changes the whole feel and tone of what you're playing. But don't worry, because when we return to the verse, it goes back to the bright, breezy, happy G major chord. My name is Luka, I live on the 2nd floor, I live upstairs from you, yes, I think you've seen me before. Something late at night, some kind of trouble, some kind of fight, just don't ask me what it was. Just don't ask me what it was. Just don't ask me what it was. And then he resolved, thank goodness, on that G major chord, and all of a sudden everything seems all right again. In case you guys were wondering, this beautiful travel guitar was given to me by my good friends at Carla, and if you like the look of it and would like to pick up one for yourself, then click on the special link in the video description below, and you will save money on a brand new guitar just because you follow me. Personally, I like this guitar because of the cool gloss finish. It's nice and thin and lightweight, making it a perfect travel guitar, and it's even got a beautiful built-in tuner, which makes it nice and easy to tune up my guitar, which means I'm always in tune and ready to go, and I don't have to look for my clip-on tuner ever again. Also, it's got a built-in EQ, which means I can plug it in and it's ready to record or rock out. Not only that, but by clicking on my special link, you will get money off anything on the Carla website just because you follow the ukulele teacher. So if you're looking for a brand new ukulele or guitar, then click on my special link in the video description below and save money on anything on the Carla website. Let's have a look at a couple of R.E.M. songs now, where a well-placed minor chord makes all the difference. Let's start off by looking at Man on the Moon. The verse is nice and straightforward, it just alternates all the way through between the chords of C and D, like this. C, D, C, C. And basically, if you play that through 6 times, you get your verse. Mutt the hoople and the game of life. Yeah, 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 yeah. Andy Kaufman in a wrestling match. Yeah, 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 yeah. Monopoly 21, checkers and chess. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mr. Fred Blassie in a breakfast mess. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's play Twister, let's play Risk. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'll see you in heaven if you make the list. Yeah, 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 yeah. But things really change when we get to that pre-chorus, because that's where an A minor chord jumps in. A minor, G, A minor, G, A minor, G, C, D. And that's your pre-chorus. Now, Andy, did you hear about this one? Tell me, are you locked in the punch? Andy, are you goofing on Elvis? Hey, baby, are we losing touch? And you can hear how those minor chords really just change up the complexion of the song. They add just a little bit of interest to it. And then the chorus for this song goes like this. If you believe they put a man on the moon, man on the moon. If you believe there's nothing up his sleeve, and nothing is cool. And if you do want to know how to play that B minor chord, basically take that A minor shape, but instead of playing it with your first, second, and third fingers, play it with your second, third, and fourth fingers, and then slide it up 1, 2 whole frets, and then add a bar with your first finger. That means you use your first finger to bar down on 5 of the strings at the same time. We don't play that bottom E string in this chord. Don't worry if you can't play it just yet, because bar chords are pretty difficult, so I will teach them to you in a bit more detail later in the course. While we're at it, let's have a look at another R.E.M. song that's actually got a reputation for being really sad. The verse is actually made up of 2 major chords, D and G. It's not until we get to the chorus that we actually hear that first minor chord, the chord of E minor. And even then, it's only the 1 E minor back to an A major. Before going back to the verse of D to G. But we'll look at that song more in the next lesson when I teach you about fingerpicking. Let's just quickly look at 2 more songs where a well-placed minor chord adds a little bit of tension and a little bit of flavour in just the right part of the song. The first one is Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton. The first 4 lines are just the chords of G and D, and then C and D repeated, like this. It's late in the evening. She's wondering what clothes to wear. She puts on her makeup brushes her long blonde hair. Then the next line is another C to D. And when she asks me, followed by a G to D. Do I look old? But here's where the little tension in the song comes in with a well-placed E minor chord. Right. And I say, before resolving with the chords of C, D, and G. Yes, you look wonderful tonight. So basically, most of the way through that song, it's fairly straightforward, standard, happy-go-lucky major chords. But that E minor adds the question in the song. It's a musical question. So it's great how the music really goes together with the lyrics, because that E minor, that moment of uncertainty and question and worry, actually coincides with the lyrics. Do I look alright? Do I look alright? Where's my comb? How's my hair? And I say, yes, you look wonderful tonight. And it resolves on 3 happy major chords. And let's take a look at one final song that also has a minor chord in it. It's just 4 chords repeated in the same order all the way through. G, D, A minor, and C. Now, to be honest with you, I'm sure there are a lot of songs that have that chord sequence repeated all the way through, but the one that I'm going to teach you is called We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. It's a nice, fun, easy song to play. Remember, just the same 4 chords all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific Water, Winchell, Joe DiMaggio, Joe McCarthy, Richard Nixon, Studebaker, Television, North Korea, South Korea, Marilyn Monroe. We didn't start the fire, it was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire, no we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. And there you go, just a nice 4 chord sequence to give you an idea that a song doesn't have to be super complicated to be super awesome. So there you go, a whole bunch of songs where a well-placed minor chord can make a world of difference and give the song a whole new meaning or perspective. Whether it's tension or threat or question or uncertainty, a minor chord is your friend in that situation. Don't forget to sign up to my Patreon page, patreon.com/uteacher, if you want some bonus content including Patreon-exclusive lessons, as well as full song sheets to accompany every lesson that I post here on YouTube. Next time, we'll be revisiting some of the songs that we learned today, but we'll be using them to learn a brand new technique with our right hand, finger picking. And if I can give you one piece of advice to help you prepare for that lesson, it's use the time between now and then to grow out the fingernails on your right hand. Trust me, you'll thank me for it. Don't forget, I post a brand new ukulele lesson every Sunday and a new guitar video every single Wednesday. So go ahead and subscribe now and turn on the notifications so you never miss a lesson. I've been the guitar teacher, and until next time, I love you all and I wish you the best.